The silence was the first thing that got to me, a silence so profound it felt like a physical weight pressing down on my ears. One moment, we were laughing, the typical pre-dinner corporate retreat chatter echoing through the remote lodge nestled deep in the Montana wilderness. The next, it was gone. All of it. The wind, the crackling fire, even the incessant chirping of crickets. Just nothing. A prickle of unease snaked its way up my spine. My name is Carter, I'm 25, and I work in mergers and acquisitions. Or, at least, I did before this nightmare began. I remember thinking, this is it, this is how it starts, a jump scare from some overzealous intern. But then the lights flickered, plunged us into total darkness, and the silence shattered with a sound that still haunts my nightmares. Not a human scream, not an animal cry, but something ancient, guttural, and filled with an unimaginable hunger. It was a roar that vibrated through the very floorboards beneath our feet, a sound that spoke of primeval forests and teeth designed for tearing flesh. Panic, cold and sharp, ripped through the room. Someone shrieked. Then another. The chaos erupted. I fumbled for my phone, the screen a useless beacon in the sudden abyss. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of pine and something else, something metallic and feral. A crash from the dining hall next door, followed by a chorus of terrified gasps. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the impending doom. We were isolated, miles from civilization, no cell service, and whatever was out there, it was big, it was fast, and it was hungry. Through the frantic whispers and choked sobs, I heard Mark from marketing, a self-proclaimed survivalist, try to rally us. Stay calm. It's probably just a bear. His voice, usually booming with forced enthusiasm, was now thin and reedy, betraying his fear. Then, a shadow detached itself from the gloom at the far end of the lodge's main hall. It was massive, hulking, a distorted mockery of a man, moving with an unnatural, predatory grace. Its silhouette was jagged, shoulders impossibly broad, limbs ending in something that looked like razor-sharp talons. 2 points of malevolent, glowing red light pierced the darkness, its eyes. No, not a bear. Not human. This was something else entirely. A low growl, a sound of pure, unadulterated malice, emanated from its throat. The scent of fear in the room became almost suffocating. My training, the hours spent meticulously analyzing financial models, the cool-headed decision-making in high-stakes negotiations, all of it felt utterly irrelevant. My entire existence had been about calculated risks and controlled environments. This was neither. This was raw, untamed terror. The creature took another step, its massive claws scraping against the polished wooden floor, a sound that made my teeth ache. It was a black, scary werewolf, just like the old folktales, but infinitely more grotesque and real. Its fur was matted and dark, almost absorbing the little ambient light, and its snout was elongated, filled with rows of needle-sharp teeth that glinted even in the dimness. It couldn't speak, it didn't need to. Its presence alone was a promise of destruction. A sudden, desperate scream tore through the air as the black scary werewolf lunged. It was incredibly fast, a blur of fur and muscle. The sound that followed was sickening, a wet, tearing noise, followed by a brief, choked gurgle. Silence again, except for the ragged breaths of those of us still alive, clinging to the shadows. It had taken someone, snatched them without a sound, leaving only the chilling implication of what had just transpired. The scent of fresh blood, metallic and cloying, now hung heavy in the air. I saw it then, truly saw it, as it dragged its victim back into the deeper shadows. Its movements were fluid, powerful, a hunter at the peak of its terrifying prowess. The sheer brutality of it made my stomach churn. This wasn't an animal, this was a force of nature, twisted and malevolent. We were trapped, hunted, utterly vulnerable. My mind raced, trying to find an escape, a plan, anything. But there was no escape. We were miles from any road, the lodge surrounded by dense, unforgiving forest, and whatever this thing was, it owned the night. Hours passed, or maybe only minutes, time ceased to have meaning. Every creak of the old lodge, every gust of wind against the windows, sent shivers of pure dread through me. The black scary werewolf was playing with us, I realized, toying with its prey. We were huddled together, a pathetic cluster of terrified executives, our expensive suits and impressive titles rendered meaningless in the face of such primal horror. I could feel its eyes on us, even though I couldn't see it. The lodge was vast, full of shadows, and it was moving through them, a silent, deadly predator. A whimper from the corner broke the oppressive silence. Sarah, our usually unflappable CFO, was sobbing uncontrollably. The creature seemed to respond to sound, to fear. My instincts, usually geared towards quarterly reports and market trends, screamed at me to be silent, to disappear. But the whimpering continued, a siren song for the monster. I saw the black scary werewolf move again, a dark shape detaching from the wall, heading straight for Sarah. In that instant, something in me snapped. Not courage, not heroism, but a raw, desperate surge of survival instinct. I saw a heavy bronze statue, a hideous corporate award, on a nearby pedestal. Without thinking, I snatched it, its weight surprisingly solid in my trembling hands. "Hey! You ugly bastard!" The words ripped from my throat, raw and defiant. The creature paused, its glowing red eyes swiveling towards me, a low, guttural growl rumbling deep in its chest. It was a terrifying sound, a sound of absolute fury. It lunged, a terrifyingly fast charge, its massive form filling my vision. I didn't think, I just acted. With a primal roar of my own, born of pure terror and desperation, I swung the bronze statue with all my might. There was a sickening thud, a bone-jarring impact that sent a jolt up my arm. The black scary werewolf recoiled, a shriek of rage tearing from its throat, a sound of unexpected pain. It stumbled back, and for a fleeting moment, I saw a flicker of something in its eyes that wasn't just malice, it was surprise. But then its rage returned, magnified tenfold. It roared again, a sound that seemed to tear the very air, and charged. This time, it was different. It wasn't just hunting, it was attacking, furious and relentless. I barely had time to brace myself before its massive form slammed into me, knocking the wind clean out of my lungs. I hit the ground hard, the bronze statue clattering away into the darkness. A searing pain erupted in my leg as something sharp, impossibly sharp, tore through my flesh. I screamed, a raw, animal sound, as the black scary werewolf loomed over me, its foul breath hot on my face, its massive, grotesque head obscuring the faint moonlight filtering through a high window. Its fangs, dripping with something dark and viscous, were inches from my throat. I could feel the tremor of its powerful body, the sheer, overwhelming strength of it. This was the end. There was no escape, no heroic rescue, just the terrifying reality of a primal beast and my own utter helplessness. Its red eyes burned into mine, filled with a triumphant, evil satisfaction. I closed my eyes, bracing for the inevitable, the final, agonizing tear.